UFC Fight Night, Nicolau versus Perez. Let's break down this card, guys. Before I start, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Every like, every subscription means a lot to me, especially in the beginning stages of the channel. So if you may do that, if you can take the mouse, press the like button, it would be greatly appreciated. Now, we had a very good week last week. We made profit on PFL and also on Cage Warriors. On PFL, man, Kizriev was a really good add-on to all the parlay. Boba just was terrible. He looked weak and old, and he cost. I could have made much more if he haven't lost, but overall I was profitable. With that being said, we have this card, UFC Vegas 91. There's some spots I want to talk about. I'm not gonna break down all the fights just because I don't really know all the fighters, and I don't have time to watch every fight of every fighter. So the fighters I do like, I've made a tape study, and I'm gonna give you a really good read on what I think is gonna happen. Let's start with the first fight. We got I'm not gonna say his name, Maheshate versus Gabriel Benítez. So Gabriel Benítez is not impressing in any way. He's coming off of a loss to Jim Miller by submission. He got a KO win against Charlie Ontiveros, losing to Onama, losing to Billy Quarantillo. And I don't think this is going to be a good spot for him against Maheshate. I think Maheshate is going to win by knockout. He's a very dangerous striker, and we can see that by his win against Steve Garcia, who's a very aggressive fighter, and he managed to put him out. That's impressive. He did lose to Borshev, but that's nothing to be ashamed of. He's a tremendous striker. I think one of the best in the division. And I just don't see a way for Benítez to win here. Not in the grappling. He's not going to grapple with him. His kicks will not be enough. He's coming up in age, almost 36 years old. And we're seeing here a young fighter from China with heavy hands. I'm picking Maheshate to win, probably by knockout, first or second round. That's the pick. Next fight, we got Ivana, Petrovic, and Liang. Liang, since her beginning stages in the UFC, which was almost 3 years ago, she kept losing. All her losses came by knockout, and I don't see this fight ending any differently for her. Maybe she's gonna lose by submission, but she's not UFC level in my opinion. She's getting gassed very fast. Ivana Petrovic, she's a good fighter, and she did lose to Luana Carolina. She's not really a volume fighter, but she has good grappling game, and I think she will manage to submit Liang or finish her by ground and pound. Give me Petrovic to win this fight. Next fight, we got James Luntop and Chris Paidia. This is a weird spot here. He should have fought Gabe Green, and that was cancelled. And he should have fought Lando Vanata, and that was cancelled. And now they found a replacement, it seems like. To be honest, I've never watched this fight. I know he fought on Contender. I haven't seen that fight. I'll just say this and take it with a grain of salt, but we're looking at a guy here who was coming short notice, 13-6, doing his UFC debut. I don't know. I'll say that James gonna win. I'm not gonna bet on this fight in any way. I'm picking James to win, but I haven't done the tape study to really give you a profound opinion. Next fight, we got Ketlen, Souza, and Marnic Mann. Marnic Mann, let's talk about it. Marnic Mann is not UFC level. She's just not. And with all due respect, I've been looking a bit at in her socials. No judgment, just fight-wise. I don't know how focused she is when it comes to her career in MMA. Ketlen Souza, she had a fight against Karine Silva, which, we know Silva is a killer. She kept winning since. Other than that, she got some unanimous decision wins outside the UFC. I don't know. I'm not really high on any fighter. I'm just going to say the pick here would be over 2.5 rounds. I think that's what's going to happen. We saw Marnic Mann fighting Josephine Knudsen, who's a very high prospect from Sweden. And Knudsen just beat her up for 3 rounds, but she is durable. So I'm saying this is gonna go over. But if I had to pick a side, I would go with Ketlen. I'm not touching this though. Good luck to whoever want to touch this. I'm not. Next fight we got Don'Tale Mayes and Caio Machado. This is an interesting one. Don'Tale Mayes started as the favorite, and then he became the underdog. A lot of money went on Caio Machado. We can see it in fight odds. Where is that? Yeah, so he came back to be the underdog, it seems. The favorite, it seems. Anyway, sorry, yeah. He's still the underdog, but it seems like it's going up and down. I like Don'Tale Mayes here. Caio Machado didn't impress me. Even in his contender fight, where he fought Kevin Sazlarski, he couldn't finish Kevin, and Kevin didn't throw anything. It was like 3 rounds of him just beating Kevin and not being able to win. He did look a bit better against Parkin. That went to decision as well, in which he lost. But I think that Don'Tale Mayes' striking is better than Caio Machado. He did lose in his last fight to Rodrigo Nascimento, which already beat him by rear naked choke. We know he's a very good grappler. I don't see Caio Machado submitting or threatening Lord Kong with a takedown. I'm just seeing this as it's going to be a striking match, and Don'Tale Mayes is the heavier striker with the longer reach, and you get him as an underdog. I haven't put anything on him, to be honest, but I like him as the underdog. I'd say in my opinion, is the best underdog in this card. So if you're looking to bet on an underdog, I'll take him. Next fight we got Austin Hubbard and Mikhail Figlak. Haven't done any tape studies, so I'm just gonna pass this. Next one we got Rani, Yahya, and Victor Henry. Victor Henry is a very heavy favorite in this fight for a good reason. Rani Yahya is coming up in age, almost 40 years old, and he looked slow in his fight against Kyung-Hoo Kang when it comes to the striking. Okay, not grappling, obviously. That was 2 years and 5 months ago. Okay. Since then, he lost to Montel Jackson by knockout. Nothing to be ashamed of. But Victor Henry is not Kyung-Hoo Kang, especially when it comes to his grappling and his wrestling. Victor Henry has a good wrestling base. He's very hard to take down. And even if he is taken down, he can grapple with Rani Yahya. Although, what I believe is going to happen is Victor Henry will be smart enough to not go to the grappling where Rani Yahya shines. And he's just going to keep it a striking match where he's obviously the better striker. He's going to keep the fight standing. He's not going to let Rani Yahya take him down. And he's going to win. Probably by knockout. I put him in one of my bets as a parlay piece. I wouldn't bet solely Victor because I think it's 118 in terms of odds right now. Anyway, Victor Henry is the pick. He's the better striker, and he has good enough for wrestling and grappling to just keep it standing. Next fight, we got Uros Medic and Team Mins. Team Mins is a very, I'll say, he's a heavy underdog. I think it's already over plus 250. I don't know why he's getting this disrespect. His last fight he won against Andre Fialho. Okay, everyone are winning against Andre Fialho. But he had a good fight against Morono, and he lost when Morono submitted him. And Uros Medic is not a submission guy. He's a striker. First and foremost, he's a striker. He doesn't have good guillotines like Alex Morono has. And yeah, Team Mins is 40 years old, but he still looks good. He still looks good. And I think he can take down Medic and control him just like Ulbay did. I think that can happen. Anyway, Team Mins is good value here. Probably another underdog you guys can consider. I'll still say that Uros Medic will win, but I'm not gonna bet on this fight. If I would have bet, I think the value is on Team Mins. I would give it a shot. But with that being said, I'm not gonna bet this fight. Jhonata Pearce and David Onama. This is an interesting one. This is the fight I'm gonna bet on, and I've done a lot of tape studies specifically because I'm interested. Jhonata Pearce is a very good wrestler. He's a good wrestler. He has a good gas tank, and in his last fight against Joanderson Brito, he was winning. For some reason, he decided to trash talk, and then he got ninja choked by Brito. But he was winning, 100%. Now, the thing about Jhonata Pearce is he has a good gas tank. He was the only one who managed to win against Rodriguez. And he has KO power. He can keep Onama on the mat. He can control David Onama. He's a very good technical wrestler. Now, David Onama is a dangerous striker. He's a dangerous striker, but one of his, I'll say, disadvantages, weaknesses, is his gas tank. Can he keep up with Pearce for 3 rounds? I don't know. I don't think so. We saw that in his fight against Nate Land where he couldn't keep up. Also, Mason Jones. Now, don't get me wrong. David Onama is dangerous. He's a dangerous fighter. He has very heavy hands. The only way I see Onama winning is if he manages to clip Pearce. But Pearce, he knows how to manage distance with the kicks, and he knows when to go for the takedown. I'm picking Jhonata Pearce to win, most likely by decision, because David Onama is a very talented fighter. He can, even if he gets him to the ground, especially in the first round, David Onama, I believe, will get up again, and it's gonna be like a scramble. But at the end, I see JSP hands getting raised. So JSP is the pick. Next one, we got Jhonata, Diniz, and Austen Lane. This is a fight. I'm telling you right now, this fight is an under. This fight is an under every day of the week. We got 2 heavy-handed strikers that most of their finishes are coming by knockout in the first round. Go and look at Austen Lane fight records. Go and look at Jhonata Diniz fight record. Most of their fights are finishing in the first round. And I think that they both have something to prove. Jhonata in his UFC debut, Austen Lane after a devastating loss against Justin Tafa, who lost. He got knocked out in the first round. With that being said, Jhonata Diniz, in my opinion, is the far better striker. He's a world champion kickboxer, and he has a very impressive record in his kickboxing career. He fought some of the best. We saw his fight against Eduardo Neves. When he started getting comfortable, there were like night and day in terms of striking difference, level of striking difference between him and Neves. And I'm not really high on Austen Lane's striking. I think if he has a way to win this, is if he somehow manages to get Diniz to the mat, if he manages to take him down. But Diniz has some Greco-Roman background, so I don't think he will manage to do so. Give me Diniz to win by first round knockout, but I'm saying that it's gonna go under. That's the bet I'm taking. Next one, we got Karine Silva and Ariane Lipski. This is another fight that I'm gonna bet on, and I'm very, very high on Karine Silva. I will explain why. She proved that her grappling is on another level. She managed to submit Moroz, guillotine choke, Souza, Poliana, and even in her contender fight, she got a submission. Now, Lipski, she looked phenomenal in her last fight against Casey O'Neill, or maybe Casey O'Neill looked terrible. You can say both. But I've been watching a few fights of Karine Silva. Her striking improved a lot, and she knows how to manage distance and when to get in, when to strike, when to take down. And she knocked down a very tough fighter, Marina Moroz. She knocked her down, and afterwards she got a guillotine choke. But she manages to keep good distance with her kicks. She has good front kicks to the stomach, to the face, and she really has good striking when it comes to defensive striking, counter striking, which I don't believe we're going to see that much, because I believe that Silva will be smart enough to make it a grappling fight where she has the advantage on Lipski. Now, don't get me wrong, Lipski is a good fighter. She has good takedown defense. She has this judo throw that she does all the time. And her grappling is good. Like, she was never submitted. With that being said, she never faced a grappler like Karine Silva. And she did lose in the past. I just see Karine Silva being good enough with the striking and being smart enough to know when to go for the takedown, get the fight to the mat, and then submit Lipski. This is my pick, Karine Silva. We go on. Co-main event, Ryan Spann and Bogdan Guskov. I'm not going to bet this fight, and I will explain why. People are high on Ryan Spann. I understand. He should be the far better fighter. The thing about Spann is I don't trust his chin. I just don't trust his chin. He got knocked out several times. And Bogdan Guskov doesn't have the best chin as well, but he does have good striking. And not only good striking, he has precise striking, which is the important part here. If he manages to finds Ryan Spann's chin, he wins. I cannot put my money on a fighter that can't take a punch. And with that being said, this fight might look easy for Spann. You know, he went 3 rounds against Anthony Smith, which I put money on him, and he showed lack of IQ, which is also another reason why I don't want to bet on him. He could have finished that fight, but he didn't do it for some reason. With that being said, I have no pick here. This is just a stay away from me. But if I had to pick a fighter to win, yeah, I'll pick Spann, but I'm not laying any money on it. In the main event, we got Matheus Nicolau and Alex Perez. Yeah, I think this is Nicolau's fight. I'm not really high on Alex Perez. He couldn't even win against Mokaev, who had a staph infection. I don't see Alex Perez knocking out Matheus Nicolau, which I would say is his only path to victory. Matheus Nicolau doesn't have the best chin, but he is smart. He has a good fight IQ. He's a tremendous grappler, and I'm just seeing him winning here by decision, most likely by decision, and that's it. I think he's the far smarter fighter. He has the better record to show it. He did lose in his last fight against Royval. That's fine. Royval just beat the top contender, which is, I forget his name. Yeah, Brandon Moreno, which Brandon Moreno looked really bad in that fight, to be honest. And then right after he quit, he didn't quit, but he took a break from MMA, which might explain why he looked like shit in that specific fight. That being said, guys, that's my pick, Matheus Nicolau. So what I'm picking, what's my bets? So I like the under here. If you want to do a safety parlay, the under here and Victor Henry. That would give you like a 1.6. This is one safety parlay. I would say the more decent parlay would be Jhonata Pearce and Ariane Lipski money line. Take both of them. You can add Victor Henry if you want some more sprinkles. Sorry, not Lipski. Apologies. Karine, Silva and Pearce is the pick as another parlay. If you want to sprinkle some more, add Victor Henry. Those are my bets so far. If you want to know more, you can follow me on Twitter. Again, if you enjoy this content, if you appreciate the content, please subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let me know what's your opinion in the comments below. And I'll see you in the next one.